I'm lucky that way. When Terry here got married the first time. Well, you know, she was living out of town. Her wedding dress had to be fitted. So Audrey was the model. If it fit Audrey, it would fit Terry. And she ended up marrying us. Anyway, I remember that Mr. Rapoport would always say, Audrey always looked nice. It didn't matter. We didn't have any money, but she wore a black skirt and a black blouse, and she was always pretty, attractive, and dressed appropriately. And I thought that was sweet. Well, we've gone away. Okay. She used to tell me one of the stories. They were living in a small apartment, hadn't been very long. And she didn't like the apartment. So she went out and found them a new apartment. When he got time to go home, he had to find her because he didn't know where he lived. She moved him that very same day. Okay, man.
Lauren. Okay. Right?
So we have the distinct pleasure of being the home away from home when Audrey and Bernard were unable to go to Passover Seder with either Ronnie and Patricia or Abby when she was already in work. So we treasured those moments of Audrey and Dee being at our Seder, which is the Passover celebration. And Audrey would tell me, and I just told the story, she would tell me over and over that she was diabetic. And unfortunately, diabetes runs in my family, so I know a little bit about diabetes. As she slammed down 2 Canadian clubs and a half pound of chopped liver, which when I tell you chopped liver is not anything that a diabetic would really need to eat, because it is very high in fat and oil and very delicious. But she loved it, and it's memories that Martin and I will cherish because we have the privilege of having them there and having Bee's sage wisdom and Audrey's cynical sense of humor, and my kids getting to experience it. And some people here have also been to our Seder. And it's just something that I probably can't describe in words, but will take with me forever. And for all of you here, I can tell you, if you knew Audrey, you know, when she walked in the door, you were always wondering, maybe I should have worn something else, or maybe I should have picked a different piece of jewelry, because she was that phenomenal. And for me, a lover of fashion and jewelry, it was something I'd look at every single thing she has. Tonight, I actually chose to wear a ring that I bought from a lady who came in from Greece. I don't know her name. I'm sure you all do. But Audrey invited me to a jewelry party at Bernard's office. And I'm 50 now, and so I was probably 30 then. We'd probably been married 5 or 6 years. We did not have any money. And so I'm looking through this jewelry, and I'm thinking, well, and I had a job, and I was, employed, and I thought, I gotta buy something. And I can't walk away. I mean, these pieces of jewelry were more than my annual salary at the time. And I'm looking, and I finally find this ring. It is a glass stone. It is not a precious stone, but it is etched. It has 2 of the smallest diamonds you might be able to ever see, maybe, give a magnifying glass. But I bought it, and it was well more than I could afford at the time. But now, when I think about it, I will treasure it always, as I treasure Audrey's memory and the friendship that we were privileged to have with her. I told Emily tonight, and I'll tell Abby, and I will tell Emily, and I will tell Ronnie and Patricia, wherever she is, we will not the Rapoport family because she's gone. We will figure out a way to continue it regardless. And so I say that in honor of her memory and the woman that she was, and she will stay that way for many years. And I'm glad I don't have to follow this gentleman.
Lauren, thank you. My name is Bill Cunningham, and there's just so many Rapoport stories to tell. All of us have been involved in, and just wouldn't know where to begin or end. But the one comment I want to make is from the perspective of the university. Bernard and Audre arrived, and I didn't know them. Think about that. It's really hard for me to believe, actually. When he became on the board, I may have met them once, and I don't know how they had gotten away from our radar, but they just hadn't. And there was just this swoosh of energy. Right, on cue. It just happened. And it was just, it was magic. And the whole world just seemed to be just the way it was supposed to be. You know, all of a sudden, the regents, and Bernard was this crazy liberal, and we had very conservative people like Tex Moncrief, and they loved each other. Of course, who wouldn't love Bernard? Truly. But whatever the issue is, whether it was funding an art museum, or a new molecular biology program, or sticking with me when I had all kinds of problems, Lyndon. I mean, I really did. They were after me. They were. And Bernard, when he was your pal, he was with you. And as I say, you just don't know where to start or end. I would say that their connection with the university will never be lost. There's just too many things on the campus that are because of the Rapoports. And on a very selfish note, I would say that I've had a lot of great trips in my life. I really have. I've been very lucky. But two of the very best were the Rapoports. One were the Olsons and the Rapoports, when we were on the lowest place in Earth, Lyndon, you and I together. Bernard took our picture. But, you go to Israel, and we would start off by seeing the party that was out of party the first night. And then the next morning, we'd go see the Prime Minister. I just thought that's what things were like. That's what you did. And then we'd have dinner with Teddy Kollek, and then we would go, just from one place to another. And the other great trip was, and it was awesome as well, is our trip to Russia that we did with the Saytops and the Rapoport. It was just memorable in every way. So, God bless Audre. It's just been a run. Great run.
It was about a month ago, and Audrey's horse is in a wheelchair, Mike's pushing her, and I'm going through the clothes on the rack. And Audrey, so I would find something that she liked, I'd hold it up. The first question is it a designer? Now we were at Marshall's. But if it's a designer, we'll think about it. And then she said, is it on clearance? Nope. Forget it. It goes down. But we managed to fill like an enormous shopping cart full of clothes. And then we do exactly what we used to do at Walmart's. We go over and sit down in the shoe section, and we take each piece of clothing up, and we handle it, and we look at it, go over it for problems, and then she would decide, whether it was worth replacing her life. And I know Mike can attest to the thousands of dollars we spent at Marshall. These last few years, while Audrey has been in a wheelchair, it was really hard for her. But I think that we had an awful lot of fun at Marshall's. And I loved her very much. And, shopping there with her was a great joy, and I was happy to be able to do that to her.
come down to Waco almost like every 2 Saturdays, pretty much every 2 Saturdays for me. Then I was at my mom's house for those Saturdays, and then so I always remember like every time there was like football season or anything, instead of watching football in like the morning of Sunday, we would watch what was it, like NBC News. And I had to, it was just like I was sitting through it, I was just like, football. And that's like probably one of my favorite memories of seeing like my sister run around, like crawl around, and godmother's watching the news. So, yeah.
Oh, hi, I'm Kimball Stroud. This is my husband, David, and I'm one of the official adoptees of Bea and Audre when I worked at the DNC during Clinton's first term. And it would, Bea and Audre, first of all, I think Audre liked me because I smoked, and we used to smoke cigarettes together, and we quit around the same time, and Audre quit because she said, it's just not fun anymore, Kimmy. It's just not fun anymore. And I love that one of the things. She quit when she was 70, and she lived till 92. Okay, so not that anybody should begin smoking again, but they are the most generous couple and have done more for me professionally. I love their family. I feel like they've done more to help me in my career. One of the things that I love about them also is that no one in my lifetime had ever called me Kimmy. My name is Kimball until Audre Rapoport. Now in politics, I'm known as Kimmy. People call me Kimmy. And that's one of the things too, is that Audre always called Dee Bernard. And when I was talking to Abby, and Ron called me when Audre died, and Abby said, you know, her name is Audra. And I said, no. She goes, her name is Audra. I said, but Bea called her Audre. She goes, I know, and she called him Bernard. So we are here to honor Audra, but I've always called her Audre. Anyway, it is so special to be here. I love them so dearly, and my husband, who is from New Jersey, this is his second trip to Waco, and he's like, I'm starting to like it. We were here initially. We were here initially for Abby's and Sam's wedding, and we're back again, and so we want to come back to this home. It is so special. Thank you so much for having us here. Rain, it makes it even more poignant. I'll never forget this night, so thank you so much. Wonderful to be here.
So I just wanted to say something real briefly. I got to spend some time with Audre in the Rapoport offices right after Bea passed away, and immediately we bonded over our love of all things Southern and Texan, and associated with being a fine Southern Texas woman. And one of those things was the Neiman Marcus lookbook. And so whenever that book would come each month, we would spend time looking over that together and talking about what carat gold the necklaces were, or whether they were 18 karat or 10 karat, and we just had a really good time. And I grew up in a tradition in Texas with women in my family where Neiman Marcus was the mothership. And whether we had a lot of money or not, whenever we went to Dallas, we went to Neiman Marcus, and we might buy like my mom might buy one piece of cosmetics, or the dress that was on clearance that we would take home, and we were proud of it because we got it from Neiman Marcus. And so all of these things that Audre loved reminded me of these women in my family and my grandmother, and I really was drawn to her about that. And she would tell me about her Escada suit that she had on, and she got it at Loehmann's, and it was originally $1,200, but she got it for $75, you know. And I could really relate to that because my mother and my grandmother, you know, rejoiced over those similar kinds of findings, you know, and would really, you know, brag about those kinds of experiences. So I love talking to Audre about her space cream and which one works the best, and I really did enjoy it. I mean, it reminded me of being with my family, and so I just wanted to share that about Audre.
Well, I had the great privilege of being Audrey's attorney for these last few years, and so I can't tell stories about a client, but if she can hear me, I just want to say that I am so glad that we finally got her watch.
Her watch. She said it on his hair. 3 years later, he got it back. It had to go to Switzerland or whatever.
Hi, I know everybody in this room could say 1,000 things about the Rapoports, and to start on B would be a whole night, but tonight's about Audrey, and she certainly warranted a whole night just for her. What an extraordinary woman in every way, and someone who was a big influence on me when I was a little bit younger and a little bit greener and really wanted someone to look up to. I'll never forget Audrey saying, when you go to Washington, it's very easy to overdress. Always err on the side of underdressing in Washington. They're not dressers there. So she had lots of good advice like that for me. But at the same time, not only was she a fashion plate, but she was a serious woman. And that's why I think she was so cool to people the age of her granddaughters. She wasn't somebody you had to hang out with and think you were spending time with someone you didn't have a thing in common with. She stayed completely in touch with all the ages of being a woman and all the issues of being a woman. She was a serious person in her own right. She was certainly Bee's partner and everything that he needed her to be, but she was her own woman too. She knew how to have fun. She loved to dress. When I texted my younger daughter, as Bee calls her, the little Russian, who was an informal godchild of Bee and Audrey's formal godchild of Bill and Isabella. What a lucky girl she is. I wanted to share with you the text she sent me immediately when she got the note. My older daughter Elena said, "This is like the end of an era for us to lose both of the Rapoports." Claire texted and said, "Tell the family I'm deeply sorry for their loss and that I truly loved her. She was one of the most kind-hearted, passionate, strong, and lively women I've ever had the pleasure of knowing." Thanks. And that the Barton family will never be the same. We'll always be a part of the Rapoport family. Thank you so much. Love to all of you, and I'm so happy there's a new Rapoport woman in the clan.
And I think my mother would agree. This is the best Rapoport woman. Being that, well, yeah, that's the new Rapoport woman. I mean, we've tried several times. Now we've hit perfection.
My name is Lou Dubose. For the past 20 years, it's been my great privilege, my wife and Jeannie, to be dining partners with Audre and Bernard at the exclusive Outback here in Waco, Texas. They were the best. The stories were the best. But one story that occurs to me is some years ago, Bernard was in the hospital out there in the Loop, and it was Saturday, and I came up. I had understood it was serious. I drove up to see Bernard by myself. I walked in, and Bernard in the hospital was like Bernard in his office. He was on the phone, full speed, call after call. And I was sitting there with Audrey, and the room was kind of a suite. There was a couch on one side, and on the other side was Bernard's bed and his desk. And Audrey was kind of attentive to his comments, and then he called someone, and he said, "If you'll run for governor, I will promise you $250,000, you've got to run." At which point, Audrey's neck snapped to the left, looking at Bernard. And she said, Bernard needs a rest, and we probably need to talk. Bernard needs a rest, and we probably need to talk. And so I got up, and as the door of the hospital was closing, I saw Audrey get on her feet and start walking straight to that bed. And I realized that I had just witnessed the shortest gubernatorial campaign in the history of Texas. And I knew who ended it. And it was Audre Rapoport. And on a more serious note, what a wonderful opportunity to be here together and honor this extraordinary woman. I think of the Texas bluesman Stevie Ray's long song, "The Sky is Crying."
Audrey introduced me to Lomans, and I don't know if you know what Lomans. Oh, okay. Audrey introduced me to Lomans. And in Washington D.C., and there had been one in New York where she shopped frequently. And she only bought all of her clothes at Loman's. And so when I wrote a little thing about her, I said, she introduced me to Loman's, and she really taught me the true meaning of shopping. And it may have been a detriment in my life, but it sure has